Hello and welcome to What It Is. My name is Jordana, and here we talk about manifestation, using tarot for manifestation, and learning to master our energy so that we can direct our energy towards our visions and manifest the lives that we dream about, our most desired realities. And I've been using tarot quite some time to help me align with the right energy for the day and to show me what the energetic needs of a situation are, who I am being in the moment. And I'm so excited to share with you part of my journey. So welcome, and let's get right into it. So for the last 200-ish days, I know I've missed a few days, I've been reading A Course in Miracles. And rather than directly quoting out of the book, reading out of the book, I have been doing that, but I'm just going to give you the synopsis is, that we have this one life that we share with everything, because everything is one. We are all one. So we're sharing this one life with God, the universe, and with everyone else. Scientifically, it's shown that all of our brains are connected. We all have these electromagnetic signals and fields that we are sending out into the universe, and consciousness is collective. This is why the Reese monkey theory exists, where monkeys on one island started to wash their food, and then spontaneously on a completely different island, another set of monkeys started to wash their food because they unconsciously picked up on the activity of the monkeys in the other place. And science shows that consciousness can travel over thousands and thousands of miles. This is why you can think of someone and they call you, or you get a text message from them, or a message from them, or they interact with you somehow, because their unconscious mind is picking up on the signal that you're sending them. So when I use tarot, I use it to understand on a deeper, unconscious level where I need to shift my energy and where I need to allow myself to expand towards my vision. Because the impetus in the human consciousness in the human reality is to try to fit into boxes and separate see yourself as separate from everything and to protect yourself. When in reality, we're all sharing this experience, and we all are the creators of our own experience. Therefore, there are as many different realities as there are humans and as there are possibilities in their imagination. Because you can occupy any reality at any given moment by using your imagination. And you can collapse old realities and manifest and materialize new realities by staying in the vibration of the things that you desire to experience, because everything is energy. And so different experiences vibrate on different frequencies. And so when you are able to match the frequency of the things that you want, you magnetize them to you. It's like if you want to manifest something, but all you can think about is how much you want it and how it's going to happen and when is it going to happen, you are sending out a signal that you do not have that thing. And so the delay is made wedged in there even further. You're widening the gap between you and the thing that you want. So using tarot, any kind of tool, is very helpful, not necessary, but helpful to help you keep your mind in the right state of consciousness so that you are consciously deciding what you want to experience rather than being ruled by your unconscious mind. So before I bore you with all of my explanations, I'm just going to get right into it. Essentially, you can occupy a state of grace simply by shifting your consciousness. And that is the gift of conscious life. Of 90% of people are ruled by their unconscious minds, and they're walking through life as though they are asleep. There are belief systems that equate life to a dream. We are all just dreaming, and we can wake up from whatever dream we've been allowing to persist and change the story at any time we want. So the way that I read is mind, body, and soul, top to bottom, and past, present, and future from left to right, and then a general situation card and a significator card from a separate deck. So in the past position of the mind, we have the Tower, allowing old paradigms to collapse. When you allow old realities to collapse, you create space for new ones to form, because nature abhors a vacuum. So when you are clinging to old ideals and old ideas of what you're supposed to be doing and how your life is supposed to look, and you're so attached to certain outcomes, and you're always kind of trying to control everything, you are limiting your potential. You're limiting yourself to the possibilities that your brain can conceive of in that moment. And unless you are consciously manifesting, your brain is living through past experiences. So let those old towers fall. Stop believing in the old stories, because the old stories are telling you you're not enough. It's not time yet. You're not ready. What will the other people think? What will happen if I get X, Y, and Z? So the things you really want remain outside of your experience, because on a subconscious level, you believe you can't have them. And that is perfectly exemplified in the present situation of the mind line, material gain in reverse. In order to allow yourself to receive the abundance, you don't have to work. That's a myth. The universe cuts your paycheck, not your job, not your hustle, not your business. The universe cuts your paycheck. So when you open yourself up to receive, and you understand that you are inherently worthy of having whatever it is you desire, you allow yourself to receive more from the universe. Your mind puts limitations on what is possible. But the truth is, the universe is infinitely abundant, and there are infinite possibilities in any given moment. You truly can have whatever you like. You are just allowing your mind to tell you the story that other people can have what they like, but you can't. So let's flip that energy. Material gain is taking inspired action. The 9 of stones, pentacles, all the stones in a line with you in the center, taking the action, aligned action towards your vision. Not moving, forcing because you're scared, or you know, sometimes we have to push ourselves past our comfort zone and break through the resistance. But if you constantly do that, you're going to burn out. It's much better to gently remove the resistance within that you have, the subconscious resistance that you have, to having whatever you like. Because then you really can manifest whatever you want. The 6 of Pentacles, 6 of Stones shows us that. The way out is through. Go into the darkness within yourself and go into the resistance. Why am I resisting this thing? Why do I not believe I'm worthy of the thing that I want? What old story am I telling myself? And start tracing it back. Where was the last time I experienced the sense of lack? Where was the time before that? Who told me I couldn't have what I want for the first time? Because children go after what they want with no hesitation. They demand to be fed. They demand to be changed. They demand to have attention paid to them. But over time, they are taught to be quiet, to wait. that they can't have things, and it's through no fault of anyone. Sometimes children do need to be told no, but it's the way you tell them no. It's, are you setting them up for success with your no? Because the way that you speak to people about limitations and what is possible sets patterns in their brain. So, in the emotional line, in the body line, the body holds the emotions in the body. In the past, there is this sense of disappointment, this sense of scarcity, of wanting things that you think that you can't have. And I've been healing a lot of my own stories. Through no fault of my parents, they passed on a scarcity mindset to me. We can't afford that thing. That's too expensive. I wanted so much. They could have taught me to work towards it in a different way. And it would have changed my physiological response to not having what I want. But they were only working off of their heritage, their ancestral knowledge. And their parents came out of the Depression. So there was a lot of scarcity, and people were taught to save and scrimp. And then that got passed down into the next generation and the next generation. Because that was the reality that they experienced. In America anyways. And in every other part of the world, there are these lineages of mindsets and experiences that get passed down genetically. And so when we set ourselves free from the imaginary world that we were given, we allow ourselves to get in touch with the universe. Because in the body line, we have the universe in the reverse position. Not experiencing the oneness. Not experiencing all of the abundance that the universe has to offer. But here's how you can change that energy. In your imagination, you can recreate old experiences. Go back to that child that's being told no over something that they really, really want, and have the experience of having it. Give it to them. Tell them how worthy they are. Show them how to take aligned action towards what they want. And start teaching that inner child that it's okay to have more. And by doing that, you change your brain's association with the past. So you will no longer live through that perception of scarcity, and you will train your nervous system to be able to hold more and more abundance. Because the mind does not know the difference between a truth and a lie. And in that same sense, you can put yourself in the future and experience all of the abundance of everything that you want to have, as though you are having it right now. And by doing that and really feeling that energy and emotion in your body, you start to attune to that frequency, and you raise the vibration of your experience, thus aligning with what you want easier, allowing it to materialize that much faster. And in every moment, giving yourself the grace to be reborn. Because time is an illusion. And if you keep turning within and you keep reconnecting with the universe, with the star in the body position in the future, and you keep returning to the source, you are always going to be filling yourself up. Keep calling your energy back into you and filling your own cup so that you're always pouring from overflow. And move in alignment with what is true. Have a vision that serves more than just you. Go beyond yourself. Give more than you receive. The universe works in a reciprocal nature. It has a reciprocal nature. The law of correspondence. What you give out, so shall you receive. So give more than you wish to receive, and you will always receive more. Always. But do it in such a way that you're thinking about what comes next and who comes next. We have the Son of Stones, the Prince of Stones, Prince of Pentacles, who is represented in this deck by Chief Seattle. And Chief Seattle's famous speech says, whatever you do in this world, think of the next 7 generations that come after you and how what you are doing will affect them. I'm paraphrasing, of course. But when we think about our lineage and our legacy as affecting the next 7 generations, it changes how we move. It changes that patriarchal need to control, to dominate, to stop nature from being nature, to poison plants because they're weeds, to farm huge amounts of animals at the same time in the same tiny little area because there's not enough. And so we have to make as much money as possible and hoard that money and enslave species to make more of that money, to log and mine and not give a fuck about the ramifications of what we are doing. Destroy. Not destroy for the rebirth like Kali does, like a hurricane does, like nature does, but destroy to control, to erase that life force, to clamp it down. And so with the rebirth of the feminine, justice in the spirit line is being balanced right now. We have the feminine rising back up. And when everyone can embrace their inner masculine and feminine, have the masculine for the support and the discipline and the steadfastness and that rooted quality, that protection, giving themselves all those qualities, and then the expansion that the feminine gives, the nurturing, the love and the care, and combining both of those energies within you, ebbing and flowing between them as needed, so that you start to move in flux with the universe. You're not fighting energy, you're moving with it. That's when ease starts to come in and flow. And that's that juicy, amazing space where life just feels good. And let life feel good as much as possible. This is our one life, and you can choose grace in any moment. But because of our mindsets of scarcity and lack and suffering, the suffering that we get attached to, we don't allow ourselves to feel grace. If you are listening to this, and I'm so glad you're here, you have a level of privilege that so many people in the world do not. If you woke up in a bed and you have a roof over your head and you have water to drink, you have so much to be grateful for. And that sense of gratitude starts to have that you are the cause, and your gratitude affects your environment and changes the energy of everything. It alchemizes everything into possibility. It restores harmony. Justice is about balancing, is about recognizing who you are being and how that affects the world around you. Self-awareness, rather than that egoic, knee-jerk reaction to things. What is this experience teaching me? And then moving into the 3 of Cups in the spirit line. Then you are overflowing. When you give yourself the experiences, the love, the compassion, the grace, the understanding, the unconditional love, we're not banishing parts of ourselves. We're not saying, oh, shame on you for being jealous. Oh, shame on you, you're not good enough. No, no, no. Why do I feel like I'm not good enough? What is that jealousy pointing me towards? What do I want that I'm not experiencing right now? Everything can be transmuted. Everything can be transformed into a new thought, into a new experience, by giving yourself what you need in the moment and then pouring from that overflow, sharing your love and your light and your purpose with the world, aligning mind, body, and soul on all three planes of existence. Because if we look at the center line of this reading, it goes Justice, the universe, material gain, Queen of Cups in the significator position, and the Prince of Wands in the general description of the reading. You, that joy, that sense of play, that sense of excitement about life, where's that? Where's your curiosity? Where's your magnetism? When you give yourself the emotional experiences and you feel joy no matter what is happening around you, that's power. When Hurricane Katrina hit, I had a 11-month-old daughter, and my house flooded up to the gills. The water was lapping in my front door. I lost everything. But even after walking through the water, holding my child up out of the alligators and the snakes and everything that you couldn't see beneath the water that was up to my chin, I found so much beauty and grace in different moments. Running into some of the most beautiful people I've ever met in my life. Watching how nature survives after a hurricane. There were floating islands of red ants helping each other survive. Nature continuing in her infinite abundance. Even as tragedy was struck around us, there were moments of grace and joy. And people found them, and we held each other up. Because we were all in that shit together. And we're all in all of this shit together. So it is our job as human beings to stay in the vibration of peace and abundance as much as possible, because that's the signal that we send out. And that's the reality that we create. The more we focus on what we don't want, the more we materialize it. So focus on what you do want and what you do want to experience. And that's how we shift the paradigms. And so going into the runes, we have the runic cross. You, past, future, the basis of the reading, the challenges of the situation, and the best outcome. So I read excerpts from the book and interpret as I go, because I'm still learning these runes. Tewaz is in the U position. Warrior energy. That Prince of Wands energy. That excitement, that energetic quality of going towards what you want. And always, because this is a spiritual journey, even the entrepreneurial journey is a spiritual journey. And if you're in this room with me, if you are experiencing this reading with me, you are a spiritual warrior. You are here because you are seeking. And in the seeking, we must remain unattached to the outcome. Hagalaz, in the past position, disruption, letting things fall apart, the tower. letting things collapse so that you can be reborn, so that you can open into the light with Kano coming in the future position, opening, allowing, receiving, letting your experience be different. That fiery energy of burning away the old realities so that you can make yourself available to new experiences. Isa in the foundation, standstill, that period before things change. Gaining that rooted quality, understanding that it is in stillness that we find grace, not bouncing all over the place, trying to control everything, grasping, seeking. Seeking and seeking are two different things, right? There's that seeking, searching, yearning energy, that chasing energy. And then there's the rooted quality of the seeker. I'm going to sit still until the answer comes to me, until I receive from source the information that I need. And in the challenge position of this reading, we have the blank rune, Odin, returning to the tree of knowledge, the tree of life, returning to that wisdom of the universe, that quality of co-creation with the universe. And Ansus coming in the best outcome position. Looking for the signals. This rune almost came out in reverse. I kind of turned it at the last moment. And so this shows a bit of, in reverse, it shows looking at the failed communication, whether it's with yourself, the universe, other people, a lack of clarity, a sense of futility and disappointment, the Five of Cups. But if you understand that all situations of disappointment are teaching you something, you have the ability then to transmute everything into growth and into strength and into a new foundation that will support what you are building and will support your vision. We truly are the masters of the universe, our universe, when we decide that that is our rightful place. That's how you master your energy in any given moment. You decide to be empowered. You decide to take aligned action. You don't gain confidence by sitting around and thinking about being confident. Confidence doesn't come to you. You take action, and confidence is developed through action. That's what leads you to success. Manifestation requires action. You can't just sit around and affirm yourself into a new reality. Or you possibly can. If you're a better manifester than me, who am I to put limits on what is possible? But in my experience, and I've been consciously manifesting for more than 20 years, I've been practicing and experimenting with manifestation on a conscious level, choosing this is what I want and bringing it into my reality. And I've always taken some kind of action. And every action I've taken that has brought my desires into fruition and materialized them has helped me gain confidence. So look for the little things. Even just manifesting a penny proves that it's possible. And so I play little games like that with myself. Just the other day, I was taking a walk at night. I said, I'm going to find some money. And in my mind's eye, I really did see a penny. I guess I could have asked for $100 bill, but I just like to prove that it happens. And sure enough, I found a penny. Ask for little things and let the universe show you how easy it is to materialize them. Get specific though. I'll share a little story with you. One time I was looking for a yes or no answer, but I said that I wanted to see a blue elephant. But it couldn't be a blue elephant that I already own, because I have a few of them. It had to be a new elephant shown to me out in the wild world, right? Because otherwise it would be too easy. And so the whole day went by and on into the next day, and I hadn't seen a blue elephant outside of my own home. And so I said to myself, I guess it must not be. The answer must not be yes. And in that moment, I was driving in the mountains in my car that I manifested. I'll tell you that story another time. And I look up and there's a semi in the lane next to me, just ahead of me. And on the back of that semi is, guess what? A blue elephant. Ha! So it's totally possible and it's totally fun. And the more fun you have with it, the universe loves fun. Fun keeps the energy moving. Fun keeps things circulating. Have fun. Set yourself free. You have this one life. So enjoy the process and let the universe give you abundance. Give to you abundantly. The universe is not on a budget. We just tend to limit ourselves. So ask for more. Ask for crazy shit. And then ask for more. And then say this or something better. Because our limitations in our minds don't know what is possible. And we don't understand how good it can get. So let it get even better than your wildest imagination. It's so exciting. That's how you free yourself from your limitations. And so, with all that, I feel like I've reached the end. It's about that time. And so I'm going to let you get back to your day, and I'm so grateful for you being here. If you want to take a little bit more of a journey by yourself, because this truly is a solo journey. Know thyself. It's a solo journey. There are guides and teachers that come along the way, but the teacher is truly within. But there are tools and there are things that can help us get there faster. And so, to help people learn to manifest consciously faster, I've created an 11-day experience that's based on my practices and everything that I've learned over the last 20 years of study and practical manifestation practicum. Experimentation? At a loss for words here. The link for this is in the bio. So go help yourself. Join us. There's a Facebook group. We have a whole community. And let's just make it as exciting and fun as possible. And I look forward to seeing you there. Thank you.